Santiago 513, the flight that landed 35 years later. The history of world aviation is surrounded by many mysteries that can involve even paranormal events and close encounters with extraterrestrials. One of these episodes, which is both curious and frightening, was the one that happened to Santiago Airlines Flight 513, which had taken off from East Germany and was headed to the city of Porto Alegre. Considering that, in today's video, we have gathered all that is known about this dark aviation episode to explain the whole plot surrounding this case. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share the video. Sounds good? Alright, let's get into the video. Folks, this story began on September 4th, 1954, when Santiago Airlines Flight 513 took off from East Germany, which, at that historical moment, was under strong Soviet and socialist influence, with Berlin as its capital, with its final destination being the Brazilian city of Porto Alegre. Up to this point, everything was going according to plan. However, during the flight, the controllers completely lost contact with the aircraft as it crossed over the Atlantic Ocean. This mysterious disappearance caused a stir at the time, and there was a massive search effort, but it yielded absolutely nothing. Local authorities preferred to conclude and announce that the plane had crashed into the high seas due to unknown causes, and unfortunately, all its crew and 92 passengers had perished with no chance of survival. That set the perfect stage for various explanations to emerge from researchers of the time, including ufologists and specialists in paranormal cases. Among the various theories published in the following years attempting to unravel this great mystery, the main one, so to speak, was that on October 12, 1989, the plane, which had been missing until then, appeared flying over the airport in Porto Alegre, here in Brazil. After circling the airport a few times without making any contact with the control tower, the plane eventually landed. On that occasion, completely outside the norms of aviation, a team was sent to the plane to investigate what was happening before their eyes. Here's an observation. Even though the plane was of a rather old model, it wasn't completely out of use. However, a very strange point was that the airline to which the plane belonged had already ceased its operations in 1956. Folks, when the dispatch team entered the aircraft, they were faced with a breathtaking scene for any ordinary mortal. They saw there, right before their own eyes, all 92 passengers, who were now nothing but skeletons seated in their respective places. The crew was there too. Just like the passengers, they were all skeletons now, and the pilot had both hands on the controls, and the engines were running smoothly. That was the explanation published in a newspaper called Weekly World News on November 14, 1989, which was well known at the time for publishing fanciful news, almost always involving a high dose of the paranormal, and events involving the participation of alien forces. Many enthusiasts of mysterious subjects vehemently argued that the case had been covered up for some reason. and an alternative explanation was that the plane had entered a wormhole, a kind of space-time rift that would allow time travel. A Brazilian paranormal researcher, Dr. Celso Otello, defends the thesis that Santiago Flight 513 probably entered a time tunnel, although he still doesn't know how to explain the appearance of skeletons on board. The fact is, despite the government authorities thoroughly investigating the case, they apparently refuse to disclose any information about this mysterious event. Likewise, they didn't publish any opinion on Dr. Celso Otello's statement. For this reason, it is believed that government officials chose to cover up the event, undoubtedly concealing what could have been one of the first cases of airplanes passing through a temporal rift. Indeed, there is no truly reliable source that can prove the veracity of at least the existence of this flight, although there are several websites that support this event as one of the most mysterious in world aviation. Whether it's mere speculation, a fanciful story, or if there's some grain of truth, we still won't know. But there's undoubtedly a good mystery waiting for further clarification in the not-so-distant future. Folks, that was the story about this flight wrapped in a cloud of pure mystery, perhaps influenced by the growing interest in paranormal subjects back in the 1950s. Although we don't know where the truth about this flight begins or ends, I believe there are still explanations to emerge. So, do you know any other facts associated with this story that we didn't mention in the video? If so, write them down in the comments below. I'd love to know. And don't forget, since you watched the whole video, show some support to the channel, subscribe, leave a like, and share it with your friends. See you in the next video. Thank you.